All right, family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what time it is. Get your drink, pull up. I had a day yesterday. I really was kind of out of it. I'm trying to detox my body right now from over-the-counter medications, right? I'm trying to make myself, when I have a headache or I can't sleep, for example, or I have cramps, or whatever little ailments that I have, I'm trying to wean myself off of just running to a pill, right? And so my body obviously is going through some things doing that, right? Because it's used to certain things, especially since my Iraq days, sleep meds, things like that. And so it is not the easiest thing to just get off those things. So I've just been feeling some type of way last few days. And maybe you've seen that in my videos. Maybe you have not. I haven't been sleeping as well, that type of thing. But also what has me, I shouldn't transition like that and say not sleeping, because this is not why I'm not sleeping. But since I'm not taking, sleep meds right now, your mind does go deeper, right? It's taking me longer to fall asleep. My mind won't turn off, right? And so I'm just, in theory, I'm laying there thinking about a lot of things. And some stuff that I'm hearing lately, it's just giving me a moment of concern, right? It's like folks like us who look at things and look at the things that are happening, and then you take that and you decipher it for yourself, and you say, how does this affect my family directly? And then how and what, if anything, do I need to do to prepare for it? What else do I need to do? And so there's some stuff that is in the realm of war that has been happening lately, that a few channels have been reporting on. Jinping, I guess, apparently was gone for a long time, and now he's come back out of, hiding or wherever he was at. I don't care. I don't track that. But I guess the concern now is that as soon as he kind of came back into public and started speaking to his people again, he started talking about prepare. And you already know, that's not, he's a hothead. He's a, he is a loose wire, right? And so, that could be concerning. Again, nothing to lose sleep over, nothing to lose your mind over, but then you couple that with China, and China now telling their people or announcing that they're going to start drafting, if you will, come March 1st. Now, that's a big deal. We haven't heard them talk about that for a while, and for them to come out kind of like Russia did, I don't know, half a year ago or whatever, when they started talking about they were going to start drafting people. They call them different words, obviously. They don't call it drafting. But I tell you what, just, that's wild to me that right now, today, that has come out, not today, but in the last few days, it has come out that right now in today's, landscape, if you will, and what's happening, that China is doing a draft and is going to start a draft as of March 1st, where everybody has to go into this. Men, women, unless they're pregnant, everybody is going to be part of this. And I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know if there's going to be a mad rush for the door. I don't know how that's going to work out. But that gives me concern. What is the big push for bodies, for making sure you have bodies? Obviously you got the stuff in Russia and the whole stuff in Europe, and will we be engaged with that? Will we not? But I mean, we just keep escalating our part in that every time. Like the more we move forward with that war, the more we get involved and heavier in regards to what we're providing and our piece in that. And so that's just a matter of time. I don't know how that's going to play out in regards to what does that look like, but that's happening. That's going to happen. And so you just have countries. It's not so much that when countries tell their people to prepare that is concerning, but when countries that are known enemies tell their people to prepare, something is about to happen, and then you have warlike things happening, warlike decisions happening, that's a big deal, Russia for the last, probably 8 months has been boasting that they were drafting and that they were, getting more troops together, right? More ground troops, right? So there's been this big push, that they're getting ready for something, right? And if they're our enemy, what does that translate to us? It translates to some level of war, some level of attack. Now, I'm not saying this is in our face attack, boots on the ground attack, cyber attack. I don't know. I don't sit here with a genie and can just tell you what's going to happen. I don't know. All I know is I take everything in, I decipher it for me and my family, and then we prepare for that. I do think, though, that it is extremely, extremely important. And this is really for folks that have just found me, or maybe today's the first time you're finding me. It is extremely important that you get certain things in line. You need to treat your home like a compound, like your fortress, as if you were going to be quarantined there. And I hate to use that word, but as if you were going to stay there and not leave and need to protect it with everything you had. And that you right now should be like a little squirrel. You should be out there getting all your nuts, okay? You should be getting your food, your water, your meds, everything that we talk about, preparing for doing life with no power. But you need to look at every aspect and really, really, and I know this sounds like a broken record for some of you, but this is the thing, we get complacent as preppers. So if you're a prepper, you need to do these things. And I say that to you because there's times I don't do these things. It is extremely important that right now, today, you need to know how much food you have in your house. How long will that food last, okay? And you need to think who is coming to your house. You could say all day long, nobody's coming to my house, but you might be surprised. People go to their friends and families that they love and trust when times are hard. Right? They need help. They need assistance. And I'm not even talking about help like give me food, provide for me. Just help, like let's get together and help each other because stuff is wild right now, right? People gravitate to each other. You're going to have strangers that link up for whatever reason in a moment and become lifelong friends and family and will be linked forever and will move forward in the chaos and the SHTF together. And they were strangers. You have family members who will never come home. And maybe not because they died, but because they merely cannot get back home, right? They're overseas, they're in a different state, they're wherever, right? They're over several bodies of water and they can't find a way home. There's family members that are not going to make it, okay? There's a ton of people that are going to die for various reasons, okay? And this video is not about that. But you need to seriously look at your food and see how long will it last you? We have things on the horizon, chaos, things that could happen that have a very good chance of happening that have us needing to take care of ourselves for years, possibly by ourselves, no grocery stores. You guys, if an EMP comes, whether it's natural or man-made, like an enemy did it to us, or there's a huge cyber attack, or there's a huge grid down like American blackout, it's a wrap. That stuff is not getting fixed anytime soon. An EMP could be over a few states, and you're talking about those few states, even though there's all the other states that are possibly have power, that's months for those states to get power back up, right? That's not like an overnight thing. That's not a couple weeks like the Texas thing or 6 weeks. It's not gonna be a fast thing. So literally the amount of food you have in your house matters. How many meals do you have? How far could you stretch it? How does it look if you had to ration it? Have you even ever thought of the process of having to ration? Immediately today, halving your meals on the plate. The food you put on the plate, halving it. Because we all know we eat. The average family eats. I'm just keeping it 100. Eats way more, right? My throat was trying to do something, right? So how much food do you have in your house? How much water, right? Something as simple as, okay, a boiled water mandatory notice comes through. Do you even have the pans to boil water? If there's a boil notice, a lot of times that means something has happened and you don't have power. So do you have a way to boil water right now with no power? Whether and people, oh, I got a barbecue, I got this, but then they don't have the things. You know how many people go out and have to get a new bag of charcoal or some lighter fluid or the whatevers, right? New lighters, whatever, right? For each season of barbecuing. Or maybe they have a thing of propane, but they don't have backups, right? So do you have a way, and how long would that way last? Meaning how much fuel do you have for that thing to be able to cook, to be able to boil water, right? To be able to heat up some water for some coffee in the morning, to be able to heat up some noodles or some food, right? It's a lot. And those, not having one of these things is going to mean crazy quality of life. And now you're bringing an aspect of violence possibly into your life, because now you're having to make decisions. Do I need to try to go out and get stuff? The answer is no. Baby, you deal with whatever you have in your home and you stay there. That is the safest place for you. But now you have to get creative in how you're going to heat up food, cook food for your family, and prepare. And hopefully you have at least the food there to do that. Having the backup water so that there's no crisis right away. If there is a boil, you have your boil notice, you have time. Is the water compromised in the way of the pipes are broken, so there's no water coming through the pipes anyway? Or there's no pipes coming through because the pumps don't work at the water treatment center anymore because there's no power. And so water, therefore, is not coming to your house anyway. How are you flushing the toilet now? How are you doing the things, right? Animals drink a lot of water. People drink a lot of water, right? You'll be surprised. People be like, well, I don't even really drink that much water. Well, maybe that's because you're drinking a lot of juice and you're drinking a lot of coffees and you're drinking a lot of soda and things like that. But how much of that do you have stacked at your house, right? I would venture that even the biggest of soda drinkers only have probably about 3 cases of soda at their home, right? Unless you're preparing, right? You're like, I want to stockpile soda, right? So what happens if that's your, your liquid source, if you will, of getting some kind of water into your body, and you're not ready for that? You're not even ready to, you go and buy 20 cups of coffee and you don't even have coffee at your house. You don't have water to make the coffee. You don't know how to even make it off grid. It's not hard, but if you've never done it before, you've got to figure this stuff out. Really look at it. Medicine. You do not want to be having a headache or having super bad cramps, or you've cut yourself, hurt yourself, pulled a muscle even. All types of reasons why you might need some pain medicine, some pain management, right? All the other medical things that happen, right? You get cut, you get a burn, you need some Neosporin, you have to keep these infections out, you got to keep your feet clean, all the foot stuff, all the ear, eye, all the body part stuff, that stuff gets into and can hurt you, and infections, and how do you deal with that stuff? You have to be ready to be able to handle those things on your own. There is not going to be somewhere to go. So looking at that stuff, looking at your body, this is the simplest way I could say it. There's 2 ways you do this as a family and you're trying to prepare and start your medical preps. You think of first, every single family member in your house, what has happened to them medically throughout the whole year? Was it a broken arm? Was it just a bunch of little bruises and scrapes from falling down maybe? Maybe there was some eye infections in there, some ear infections. Maybe there was some colds happening. What was the basic year and the stuff that happened to that child? And you're doing that for every family member, and you're going and you're buying those things, right? You're going now and buying all the things that are medical or medicine-like that you use throughout the year for you and your family, or things that you know for a fact you guys use all the time. You have to have Midol on hand. You've got 4 daughters. They all have crazy cramps. You guys go through a crazy amount of Midol, right? You have a specific, Tums. So somebody in your family just doesn't sit well and they're always taking Tums. Whatever it is, get those things. You need to get those things. And then number 2, you need to think about any ailments that are regular ailments outside of the over-the-counter stuff. What prescribed medicines are happening in your family? What happens when you can't get those anymore? Is it detrimental? Is it life-ending? What holistic backups, talking to doctors, getting all those things, getting your backup antibiotics for yourself. You have to think about medicine and you and yourself doing things for you and your family. And I can't stress that enough, because you will be doing stuff yourself. You will not be able to run out and get a doctor, right? You know, and if you haven't even approached the conversation of like, hey, how do I set a bone? How do I, fix this broken bone, set it, cast it, let alone having the stuff to do it. But how do you do it? A deep enough cut that has to be sutured. There's cool stuff out there. There's suture band-aids, okay? But suturing kits, there's practice suturing kits that you can get on Amazon. You just get them and you practice suturing. I cannot stress. And some people will watch this and be like, this chick is crazy, her level of preparedness. But something's coming. War in some capacity is coming. And don't get complacent or just get your blinders on what you understand war to be, meaning what has war looked like for us in the past, right? We were never really attacked like that. Yes, you had 9/11, but I'm talking about we've never really had like boots on ground here, right? We've never had just a huge cyber attack. We've never had huge missiles coming over here, nuclear or otherwise, EMP, whatever the payload. We've never had any of that stuff happen over here, right? We've never had, even just an attack, let's say chemical, biological, an attack on our infrastructure, even one piece of our infrastructure. There's a lot of ways that we could be brought down to our knees, or a big group of us brought down to our knees. And it is important that you get the things so that you're ready to live life with no power, that you have that food, that you know right now how much and how long that will last. That you have that medicine to take care of your family, cold medicines, you name it, ready for that pandemic that comes, and you're ready for it. Could you imagine going through something like a pandemic that's 10 times worse than the one we just went through, and we're also going through war? Can you imagine? I mean, you have to be ready for that stuff yourself. You have to treat your home, your apartment, wherever it is you live, your room, if you have roommates, as your compound. And then you have to think about, how do you secure it? How do you fortify it? How do you protect it? How do you ensure that nobody can come and take that from you? That is just as important as stacking the food and water, because if you cannot protect it, you cannot keep it safe from people coming and thieving it, marauders, whoever coming, a group of people trying to come and get stuff. If you cannot stop that, that's hard, because they're just going to come and take your stuff. And now you've done all this work for somebody to just come and take it from you. So it's just as important as having the things to be able to protect yourself, to protect your family, and to protect the stuff that you've spent money on. Okay. I don't know what this war thing is going to look like, but I'm pretty confident to tell you that war's coming. It's coming in some shape, form, fashion. It's coming our way. And the part that's not really scary, but the part that gives concern is from what angle. You got the stuff that's currently going on with Russia and them, but I don't know if that's where we truly, where the American people hurt and actually physically get attacked by something that physically hurts us in an everyday way, if that's going to come from that situation. I think it's going to come, the first time we feel it, it's going to come from a different angle, right? And so I just think you should get your home ready. And that's not even talking about all the other stuff, like with the nuclear and fallout and getting your house ready for that. But like every part of your home is a compound. And so you should have your Faraday cages, your areas that you've built up to protect some of your stuff. You should have your situation, your place in the house. I don't care where you live, an apartment, a home, a rambler, you have a basement, you don't have a basement, you have a bunker, you don't have a bunker, whatever it is, 2-story, 1-story, where in your home is the safest place to be for fallout? And then how do you build barriers around that, right? I'm not saying build walls. I am saying build walls, but with stuff, right? How do you then make barriers? How do you protect you and your family from radiation that is either falling down on you guys or is just blowing through your area, right? How do you protect yourself? Do you know the wind patterns and where the wind would be coming from? Where does the wind normally come from? Okay, maybe that side of the house, and in relation to wherever you're at, needs to have more thought. okay? If it was coming straight down on the roof, more thought of how close is the roof line to where your spot is, right? This stuff, you know, is like real scary to some folks. And of course, would be considered gloom and doom. But I honestly try to just not be scared and just think of the things that could happen and what is the few things I can pick up this week or this month to then add to that. I'm just a squirrel, baby. I'm trying to grab that knowledge, grab books, grab this and that, take note of what I have. Okay, how many nuts do I have in this area? And what else do I need to get? You need to be out there grabbing your nuts, getting ready, okay, for what is going to happen. We just don't know. It's hard to prepare for something when you don't know the exact thing. But I would venture we can know the exact thing that's going to happen, and we're not going to be ready. So take that for what it is. A lot of us, even folks that prep and mentally think we kind of can understand what's going to happen, are still not ready for this. We're not, okay? We're not. We're not. Because why? We've never gone through it. And you don't know until you've gone through it. But I'll be darned if I'm just going to sit around and just be like, well, I'm just going to wait for God to handle it. I'm going to wait for God to have my back. I'm not going to do anything. He's got me. It's fine. I'm going to do my part and prepare and keep my family safe and provide for them. That's what we're going to do here for whatever's coming, because it's coming. Okay. So I'm feeling much better today. Been a couple days that I've been detoxing off of over-the-counter meds, and the sun is out, and there's supposed to be sun like it's supposed to be some cloudy, but peaks of, of sun coming out. And so I'm looking forward to getting outside for the next few days. It's been a lot of rain the last few days. So get out, do the things, do it in love, be kind. You've got this. If you are new to this, it's one thing at a time, baby. You are good. For those of you that have been jumping over to Patreon, thank you. We have a great group over there. I absolutely love, that's like my besties is what I'm calling them, man. I just love that group over there. Check out the links. There's links in the description box. A lot of people have been asking me like, hey, about specifically war, right? Gas masks, things like that. I've had a link in the description box all the time, just because I don't mention stuff all the time like, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this. The links are always in the description box. There's a link down there for MIRA safety, which is my favorite, for gas masks, for suits, for all of that stuff. Of course, there's the two companies that for getting your antibiotics are down there, Contingency Medical and JASE. Of course, my Amazon affiliation link is there. If you click on that, it's not just a link to like my affiliate. I've built folders on there of different stuff. Water preparedness folder, a books folder. Some of my favorite books are in there. Different folders that are built out that you can click on and see the things that I talk about or that I like, right? And they're the things that you guys email me like crazy and ask me about all the time. Hey, how did you get this? Where did you get this? So take a look at those links. That's why I spend the time putting them down there, you guys, is so that you can then go down there. Getting ready for garden season and growing season. There is a great company, their link below, and there is a code for the 3 packages, the Farmer's Vault, the Homesteader seeds, and like beginner seeds or something like that. The Farmer's Vault, if you can afford it, is by far the best because they are premium seeds. It's like 100 packs for $100. You can't get it's amazing, you guys. I love, love, love survival garden seeds. So go down there, check out their link, get your seeds and get extras. You need to be stockpiling seeds and not always just buying your seeds for the season that's coming up, okay? But start thinking about locally where you can get some good quality dirt that's already kind of mixed up, compost in there, maybe some sand, whatever's good for your area. Be thinking about mulching and what kind of mulch you're going to get, and if there's a local place you can get mulching. Be thinking about your garden beds, be thinking about your age, be thinking about your zone, researching what zone you're in, what plants do good where you're at. If you have to do container gardening, then do that. But get it going, baby. Get your extra gloves, get your extra garden things, get your extra hose and your extra shovels and different things that you're going to need to grow, okay? I'm super excited. you know, I think that's what I've been missing, is that garden aspect, because like everybody else's garden, there's not much going on right now with mine. And so I'm excited to get it going. I'm excited to add more garden beds. And so, yeah, just super excited. We got more and more eggs coming. I don't think all 3 are laying yet. I think it's just 2. We're getting on average 2 a day. So I just think it's a couple of them, and I don't know, because these chicks, we happen to get chickens that look the same. Like, I cannot, one is predominantly bigger than the other 2, but baby, it's just 3 black hens. I can't tell them apart no more. So when they were chicks, I had names for them. I totally could tell them apart by different things with their beaks and coloring and stuff. No, not now, baby. They all look the same. So I just be like, hey, mamas. They're all mamas right now. So anyway, super excited. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll stop mumbling, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Take care. Bye.